Hey everyone, this is Pat Fitzmaurice of Fantasy Pros, and I'm going to run through my top 10 running back prospects from the NFL draft class of 2024. This is an interesting RB class indeed, in that there's not a great deal of consensus on how to rank these guys. Ask 10 different NFL draft analysts, or for that matter, 10 different fantasy analysts, and I think you're going to get very different top 10 lists at the position for these incoming rookies. Before I list my top 10 running back prospects for 2024, if you want a chance to win a premium one-year subscription to Fantasy Pros, all you need to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now, comment below on this video, and that's it. We will be announcing a winner right here on the channel, so make sure to turn on your notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to claim your prize. My number one running back in the class of 2024 is Blake Corum from the national champion Michigan Wolverines. At 5'8", 213 pounds, Corum is slightly undersized, and at age 23, he's an older prospect, which will be a turnoff to some dynasty managers and perhaps some NFL teams too. But Corum was wildly productive in college with 2,900 yards from scrimmage and 47 touchdowns over his final two seasons in Ann Arbor, even though he was sharing some of the load with another very talented running back, Donovan Edwards. Rice has quick feet and tremendous vision. I think he's the most instinctive runner in the class and maybe the best pure runner in the class. He's a great feel for when to cut, when to hit the accelerator, and when to just lower his shoulder to pick up an extra yard or two before being tackled. I've seen Blake Corum's running style compared to that of Ray Rice, and I don't hate that comparison. Trey Benson of Florida State checks in at number 2. Benson is a somewhat polarizing running back prospect. There's some draft and fantasy analysts who rank Benson number 1 among running backs in this class. Other analysts don't have him in their top 3, aren't that fond of him. Benson never had a 1,000-yard rushing season at Florida State, and he had only one 100-yard rushing day in his final season with the Seminoles, although that was actually a monster 200-yard rushing day against Virginia Tech. But the modest yardage totals aren't necessarily Benson's fault. He averaged just 12 carries a game last fall, with Florida State mixing in a couple of other running backs. Trey Benson is sort of a jack-of-all-trades back who does a lot of things well, but doesn't have one truly exceptional trait. He has good speed, acceleration, run vision, and cutting ability. The 6'1", 223-pound Benson also has good size, although one of the knocks on him is that he runs with a high pad level, which can make him a little too easy to knock off his feet at times. Benson really helped himself at the NFL Scouting Combine. He ran a 4.39 in the 40-yard dash at 216 pounds, and he posted a relative athletic score of 9.78 out of a possible 10. It would be shocking if Benson didn't hear his name called on day 2 of the NFL draft after the way he just crushed it at the Combine. At number 3, Jonathan Brooks of the University of Texas. It's possible Brooks would have been a near unanimous number 1 back in this class if he hadn't torn his ACL in November. Brooks served an apprenticeship in Austin, Texas behind Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson before taking over as the Longhorns' lead running back last fall. He had more than 1,400 yards from scrimmage in 11 games, along with 11 touchdowns. The 6', 210-pound Brooks has speed and athleticism, and he is one of the best one-cut running backs in this class, maybe the best. A guy who can plant his foot in the ground, make a sharp cut that puts defenders on roller skates, and then quickly accelerate into the open field. Brooks is comfortable running between the tackles and picking his way through traffic. He's also a capable pass catcher. The only real drawback with Brooks is that his recovery from knee surgery is probably going to make his rookie year in the NFL a redshirt season. Number 4 is Marshon Lloyd of USC. Lloyd transferred from South Carolina to USC for his final college season and averaged 7.1 yards per carry for the Trojans, although he ran for only 820 yards because he shared carries and because the USC offense was largely built around the talents of quarterback Caleb Williams. Marshon Lloyd has good speed and outstanding lateral agility, able to make sharp cuts that open up rushing lanes. Lloyd also has the patience to wait for holes to develop, and then he can get through those holes in a hurry. Marshon Lloyd has some pass catching ability, and he isn't afraid to do the dirty work on blitz pickup. At 5'9", 220, Lloyd isn't an especially physical runner, even though he's a bigger back, and he's had some issues with ball security, but Lloyd had a very good week at the Senior Bowl and then went out and ran a 4.46 at the Combine. He too is a likely day 2 pick in the NFL draft. At number 5 is Jaylen Wright of the University of Tennessee. Wright ran for 1,000 yards in his final season in Knoxville, averaging 7.4 yards per carry. At 5'10 and a half, 210 pounds, Wright has an appealing combination of size and speed. This guy runs hard, and he is not going to be brought down by an arm tackle. Wright's also a patient runner, and once he sees a hole open, he can really stomp the accelerator, and he has the long speed to take it to the house. Wright ran a 4.38 at the Scouting Combine, the second fastest time among all the running backs who did the dash in Indianapolis. There are not many glaring weaknesses in Wright's game, but he was never asked to carry a heavy load at Tennessee and may not have the size to be much more than a committee back. It's not clear whether Wright will play on passing downs in the NFL. Number 6 is Braylon Allen of the University of Wisconsin, and what a physical specimen this guy is. Allen is a 6'1", 235-pound bulldozer, but as big as Allen is, he is not slow of foot. This is a big man who can move, although he did choose not to run at the NFL Scouting Combine. Allen had 20 100-yard rushing games in his 3 seasons with the Badgers, the most 100-yard rushing games of any back in this class, and he scored double-digit touchdowns in all 3 of his college seasons. Allen just turned 20, which makes him not only the youngest running back in this draft class, but one of the youngest players at any position in this draft class. Braylon Allen is surprisingly nifty for such a big dude, and as you might expect with a 235-pound back, he is good at breaking tackles, with nearly 70% of his rushing yardage at Wisconsin last fall coming after contact. It's very easy to see Allen fitting in with an NFL team as an early down thumper who comes out on passing downs. He's not very adept as either a pass catcher or pass blocker. Allen has also had some fumbling issues, and he seems to get dinged up quite a bit, though he never missed extensive time in college. At number 7, Ray Davis of Kentucky, a personal favorite of mine. Davis scored 21 touchdowns for the Wildcats last fall and was productive both as a runner and as a pass catcher, totaling more than 1,400 yards from scrimmage in 13 games. The biggest knock on Ray Davis is probably his lack of long speed. Davis is more of a singles and doubles hitter than a home run hitter. Checking in at number 8 is Kamani Videl, a very intriguing prospect out of Troy University. Videl was a workhorse for the Troy Trojans over the last 2 years with 528 carries for 2,793 yards and 24 touchdowns over his final 2 college seasons. Videl isn't bad as a pass catcher either, with 22 or more catches in 3 of his 4 college seasons. The 5'8", 213-pound Videl is a physical, no-frills runner who does his best work between the tackles. The biggest knock on Videl is a lack of burst, although he surprised a lot of draft analysts by running a 4.46 at the Combine. As productive as Videl was in college, the unexpectedly good 40 time could conceivably make him a day 2 draft pick. Number 9 on the list is Aundre Estime. Like Braylon Allen, Estime is a big early down banger. He is a 5'11", 221-pound downhill runner whose combination of power and contact balance makes him extremely difficult to bring down. Estime is agile and has surprising acceleration for a bigger back, but not surprisingly, Estime lacks breakaway speed, and he's not especially useful on passing downs. Estime's 4.71 40 time was the slowest among all the running backs who ran at the Combine. But Estime was extremely productive for the Fighting Irish last fall, running for 1,300 yards and 18 touchdowns in his final season in South Bend, with an average of 6.4 yards per carry. It's not hard to imagine Estime becoming a very successful goal line back in the NFL. For fantasy managers, that means Estime offers double-digit touchdown potential. And rounding out the list at number 10 is Will Chipley of Clemson. Chipley was productive from the get-go with the Tigers, scoring 11 touchdowns as a true freshman. Chipley racked up 1,400 yards from scrimmage and 15 touchdowns as a sophomore, and he was playing well for Clemson last fall in a timeshare role before a knee injury cut his season short. I think Chipley profiles as a third down back at the next level. He had more than 30 receptions in each of his final 2 seasons at Clemson. Chipley has terrific hands and is very good after the catch. I don't know if Chipley can make major contributions to an NFL rushing attack. He's only 205 pounds and doesn't have great top-end speed, but Chipley's versatility and pass-catching ability is going to make him a welcome addition to an NFL offense. Those are my top 10 running back prospects for 2024. And remember, if you want a chance to win a premium 1-year subscription to FantasyPros, all you need to do is subscribe to the FantasyPros YouTube channel right now, comment below on this video, and that's all. We'll be announcing a winner right here on the channel, so turn on your notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to claim your prize.